What if the world you see is not real? What if everything you believe to be solid, certain, undeniable is only a mirror? A mirror of your beliefs, a mirror of your emotions, a mirror of the lens you carry inside your mind. Pause for a moment. Look around you. Do you really think you are seeing reality as it is? Or just a filtered version shaped by what you already believe? Science has given us a clue. In 2010, researchers at Harvard discovered something shocking. Out of the flood of information rushing into your brain every single second, you only perceive about 0.001%. The rest vanishes. Not because it is not there, not because it does not matter, but because your mind filters it. And what decides the filter? Your beliefs, your attention, your emotional state. Think about that. If your mind only lets you see what you already believe, then what is real? Is reality truly out there, or only inside you? Imagine this. A soldier comes home from war. He walks the busy streets of New York. His friends laugh, point at the little acts of kindness, the strangers smiling, the street performers playing music. But what does he see? Not joy, not safety. He sees cold eyes, harsh horns, tension in every face. For him, the world is dangerous. For him, every sound is a threat. His belief, forged in battle, filters everything. And so his reality is different from his friends. Same street, same moment. Two worlds. Do you see the weight of this? Two people can stand in the same place, breathe the same air, yet live in completely different realities. Not because reality changed, but because the mirror inside them reflected a different picture. So here is the uncomfortable truth. The world you live in might not be the world at all. It might only be your reflection. And if that is true, then what happens when you dare to question it? Right now, place your hand on your heart. Take one deep breath and ask yourself with total honesty, the world I see today, is it truly the world? Or is it only the echo of what I carry inside? Feel the silence that follows that question. It is not a trick. It is not philosophy for the sake of philosophy. It is a doorway. Because if the world is a mirror, then every fear you see is your fear reflected. Every limitation you see is your limitation reflected. Every possibility you see is your possibility reflected. And here is where it becomes urgent. If you keep believing what you always believed, you will keep seeing what you always saw. Your life will not change. Your reality will not shift. Because the mirror can only give back what you project into it. But if you shift inside, the mirror shifts too. Change the story you tell yourself. Change the emotion you hold on to. Change where your attention goes. And suddenly, the world you live in changes. This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. It is how your brain works. Remember the soldier. His reality was built by his belief. Your reality is built by yours. So I ask you again, are you seeing the truth? Or only your reflection? Is your reality fixed? Or is it flexible? Is the world out there? Or is it in here? Every second, life offers you a choice. To keep living inside the same reflection, or to create a new one. That is why you feel the pull right now. That is why your heart beats faster as you hear these words. Because a part of you knows the truth. You are not trapped. You are not powerless. You are the one holding the mirror. So tell me, if reality is a mirror, what image do you want it to reflect? This is where the real journey begins. Not with the world, not with circumstances, not with other people. It begins with you, and once you see that, once you feel it in your bones, you cannot go back. You cannot look at life the same way again, because every moment becomes a test. Every moment asks you, Will you project fear, or will you project possibility? Will you hold on to anger, or will you release it for peace? Will you keep staring at the cracks in the mirror, or will you dare to imagine a new reflection? The world is not fixed. The mirror is waiting, and it only reflects you. So now I leave you with this one burning question. If the world you see is just your reflection, how will you change what is inside so that tomorrow the mirror gives you a different world? That is the mystery. That is the power. That is the invitation. And the choice is yours not to change the mirror. You must change the filter that decides what you see. This is the secret. The hidden mechanism inside your brain. The part that quietly shapes your world without you even noticing. It is called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Have you ever wondered why? Once you decide to buy a certain car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere? On the streets, in the parking lot, on the highway. It feels like the universe just flooded your world with that car. But the truth is, those cars were always there. You simply did not notice them until your RAS decided they mattered. This is the power of your RAS. It sits in your brainstem. It is the gateway between the flood of information outside and the tiny portion your conscious mind can handle. Remember the Harvard study? Your brain processes millions of bits every second, but you only perceive a fraction. The RAS decides which fraction gets through. And how does it decide? By your beliefs, by your emotions, by the questions you constantly ask yourself. Think about that. If you walk through life believing you are invisible, your RAS will filter the world to confirm it. You will notice the moments people ignore you. You will miss the moments they value you. Reality bends around your filter. This is not theory. This is real. Let me tell you about Sarah. She worked in marketing in Chicago. She carried a belief. I am invisible in this company. And her RAS obeyed. It highlighted every moment her boss skipped her name. It amplified every time a colleague's idea was praised while hers was overlooked. Her mind built a world where she truly was invisible. But something shifted. Sarah learned to ask herself a new question every morning. What opportunities are around me today that I have not seen before? That simple shift reprogrammed her RAS. Suddenly, she started noticing the praise she used to dismiss. She caught the small openings to share her ideas. She saw her value reflected back. 6 months later, she was promoted. Same office, same boss, same company, different filter, different world. Do you see the danger? And do you feel the possibility? The RAS is not just a passive gate. It is programmable. You can choose what it highlights. You can choose what world you live in. So let me ask you, what filter is running your life right now? Is it tuned to fear, to scarcity, to doubt? Or is it tuned to growth, to opportunity, to connection? Pause. Ask yourself, right now, what question do I feed my RAS every day? Because whether you realize it or not, you are programming it with every thought. Here is the hypnotic truth. If you ask, why does no one respect me? Your RAS will search for evidence to prove it. If you ask, why do good things always happen to me? Your RAS will also search for evidence to prove it. Either way, your RAS is faithful. It will obey the question. So the choice is not whether your RAS is working. It always works. The choice is how you direct it. Now breathe. Place your attention inside. Ask this new question with sincerity. What good is already around me that I have not yet seen? Feel that? That tiny spark? That is your RAS shifting its focus. It is beginning to filter the world differently. Asterisk. This is why the car shows up. This is why Sarah's career transformed. This is why two people can walk down the same street, yet one feels crushed by rejection, while the other feels lifted by opportunity. The difference is not the world. The difference is the filter, and here is the mystery. The reyes cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Feed it a vision, repeat a belief, focus on a question, and it will start to shape your perception to match. You do not need the world to change first. You need your filter to change. Then the world follows Dot, so ask yourself, if you could design your own filter, what would it look for? Would it look for signs of danger or signs of possibility? Would it highlight rejection or highlight connection? Would it magnify the reasons you are stuck or the reasons you can rise? Every day, your RAS is listening. Every day, it waits for your command. And most people give it the wrong one. Most people unconsciously program it with fear. They ask the wrong questions and then wonder why life keeps proving them right. But you are not most people. You are hearing this because your RAS is already pulling you toward a new direction. The door is open. The mirror is waiting, Dot. So again, I challenge you. Whisper to yourself, what good is already here that I have not noticed yet? Let that question repeat in your mind. Let it echo until it becomes a command. Watch what happens in the next hour. Watch what happens in the next week. Watch how your RAS begins to reveal a world that was always there, hidden in plain sight. The soldier saw danger. His friend saw connection. Sarah saw rejection. Later, she saw opportunity. None of them were wrong. Each one was simply looking through the filter their RAS provided. And now, so are you, which means the question is not whether the world will change. The question is whether you will change the signal your RAS listens to. Because if you do, the mirror cannot help but shift. So tell me, what will you ask your mind today? What command will you give your filter? What new reflection will you choose? Asterisk, you change the RAS by changing the emotional frequency you broadcast. Yes, the secret key is not hidden outside you. It is in the vibration of your emotions. The RAS listens not only to your thoughts, but to the frequency behind them. And that frequency is emotion. So let me ask you, what emotional signal are you broadcasting right now? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it anger? Or is it gratitude, joy, confidence? Your emotions are not just feelings. They are signals. They are vibrations. They are the language your iris always listens to. And the frequency you choose tells your brain what to prioritize. Science has confirmed this. At the HeartMath Institute, researchers discovered something extraordinary. When people generate positive emotions like gratitude or appreciation, the heart and the brain fall into harmony. They call it coherence. In that state, your body is balanced. Your mind is sharper. Your awareness expands. And suddenly, you notice opportunities you would have missed before. Think about what that means. When you are trapped in stress, your RAS filters the world to match. It highlights more reasons to be afraid, more reasons to feel stuck, more reasons to stay small. But when you shift your emotional frequency to gratitude or joy, your ASE tunes into a different world. It begins to reveal solutions, possibilities, connections that were always there, but hidden from view. This is why two people can face the same challenge, yet one sees only dead ends while the other sees a doorway. The difference is not luck. The difference is emotional frequency. Let me tell you about Mark, a businessman in San Francisco. He lost a massive contract. His mind spiraled into fear. Day after day, his RAS magnified everything that confirmed his belief. Failure, rejection, endings. For months, opportunities walked right past him, and he could not see them. Then one morning, exhausted, Mark tried something different. He began writing down 3 things he was grateful for every day. It felt simple, almost too simple. But slowly, his emotional frequency shifted. He felt lighter, more open. Within 2 weeks, and a casual dinner with friends, he met a new partner. That connection led to a deal greater than the one he had lost. Same man, same city, same business world, but a new frequency. And because of that, a new reality. So here is the question you must face. What emotional frequency are you choosing today? Because whether you realize it or not, you are broadcasting one right now. And your AS is listening. Do not dismiss this as abstract. It is practical. It is urgent. The emotional state you carry is the blueprint your AS uses to build your reality. Carry fear, and your world shrinks. Carry gratitude, and your world expands. Now breathe. Feel your chest rise. And ask yourself, if my emotions are signals, what signal am I sending? The truth is, you have more power than you think. You can choose the frequency. You can shift it in an instant. You can pause, close your eyes, remember one thing you are deeply grateful for, and your AS will immediately adjust its filter. That is not magic. That is biology. That is your nervous system recalibrating. That is your brainstem tuning itself to the vibration you provide. So imagine, what would happen if, instead of living in fear, you chose to live in the frequency of possibility? What if, instead of doubt, you chose the frequency of confidence? What if, instead of anger, you chose the frequency of compassion? Your rays would obey. It would reshape your world. It would reveal what matches your frequency. And suddenly, the same street, the same job, the same life would feel entirely different. This is why gratitude practices, meditation, or even a single deep breath can change your day. They change your frequency. And by doing that, they change your perception. Mark's story is not rare. It is a mirror of what happens to anyone who chooses a new frequency. Because your AS is loyal. It does not argue. It does not resist. It follows the signal. Always. So I ask you again, what signal are you broadcasting right now? And is it the signal your best self would choose? Because you can choose differently. Right now, you can select the vibration of joy, the vibration of gratitude, the vibration of love. And the moment you do, your rays will begin to shift the mirror of your world. You change the RAS by changing the frequency of your emotions. This is the key you have been searching for. This is the lever that turns perception into possibility. So here is the invitation. Choose your frequency. Choose it with intention. And then watch. Watch how the world bends to reflect it. Watch how new opportunities appear. Watch how life begins to answer in the same vibration you send out. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of random events. You are the broadcaster. And your reality is the echo of your frequency. So pause, decide, and whisper this command to yourself. I choose the frequency of my best self. And now, feel it. Let it rise inside you. Because from this moment forward, your AS is listening, and it will obey. The frequency you carry is shaped by the beliefs you repeat every single day. But here is the question. Did you choose those beliefs? Or were they chosen for you? Most people never realize this. Their beliefs are not conscious decisions. They are downloads, installed by parents, by teachers, by culture, by moments of pain or joy they never examined again. And once installed, those beliefs play on repeat. They shape emotions. They shape actions. They shape reality itself. Stop and ask yourself, whose voice is echoing inside your mind right now? Is it really yours? Or is it the echo of someone else's opinion, whispered years ago, still deciding the frequency you send into the world today? Science has revealed the depth of this truth. Dr. Bruce Lipton, a pioneer in epigenetics, showed through experiments that environment and belief can literally influence how genes express themselves. Think about that. Your biology is not fixed. Your body listens to your beliefs. Change the belief, and you can change the very way your cells operate. Do you see the power of this? A belief is not just a thought. It is a program. It is a director. It is the silent hand shaping the script of your life. Let me tell you about Lisa. She grew up in Texas. In elementary school, a teacher once told her, "You are not good at math." A simple sentence, a careless remark, but her young mind believed it. And from that day forward, her RAS filtered every experience to confirm it. She noticed every mistake. She ignored every small success. She carried the belief into adulthood. For years, she avoided numbers. She avoided challenges. She lived in the shadow of a lie dot until one day, her son asked for help with his homework. Lisa hesitated, but decided to try. Slowly, she relearned what she had avoided. To her surprise, she was not only capable, she was passionate. That belief she carried for decades crumbled. 2 years later, she became an online math coach, helping others break the very limitation that once held her captive. What changed? Not her intelligence, not her ability, only her belief. Now pause. Ask yourself, how many of your so-called truths are simply beliefs you never questioned? Beliefs about money, beliefs about love, beliefs about what you can and cannot do. And here comes the urgency. Because beliefs shape emotions. Emotions shape frequency. And frequency shapes perception. If you do not take back control of your beliefs, they will control you. Quietly, relentlessly, until one day you look back and realize you lived someone else's life. So let me ask you directly. That belief you repeat every day, did you choose it? Or did someone place it inside you? Feel the weight of that question. Let it sink in. Because this is the doorway. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. You cannot change your reality until you face the beliefs driving it. You cannot shift your frequency until you break the loop of the thoughts you inherited. But here is the good news. Beliefs are not chains of steel. They are patterns. And patterns can be rewired. Just like Lisa discovered, when you challenge one belief, the world begins to open. Think of the mirror we spoke of. Think of the RAS. Both respond to the program of belief. Change the belief, and the mirror reflects a new world. Change the belief, and your RAS filters for new opportunities. Change the belief, and the frequency of your emotions transforms. So again, I challenge you. Whisper to yourself, this belief I hold, did I choose it, or was it given to me? Because until you ask that, you remain asleep inside someone else's script. But the moment you ask, you wake up. And in that awakening lies your freedom. Imagine the possibilities. If one old belief could limit you for years, what could a new belief unlock for you today? What future could it build? What reality could it create? You are not your past beliefs. You are the one who has the power to choose them now, to rewrite them, to install new ones, ones that empower, ones that expand, ones that tune your frequency to the life you actually desire. This is not easy. It takes awareness. It takes courage. But it is possible. And once you do it, nothing in your life will ever look the same. Because the truth is, beliefs are not silent. They shout through every decision you make. They echo through every risk you avoid. They decide who you talk to, what you try, how far you go. They are the invisible director behind every scene of your life. Asterisk, so tell me, are you ready to fire the old director? Are you ready to claim your role as the writer of your own script? Remember Lisa. One belief kept her in the dark for decades. One shift set her free. What belief is waiting to be challenged in your life? The world will not hand you the answer. You must ask the question dot, so ask it now. Breathe deeply. Feel your heart. And whisper this belief. Is it mine, or was it given to me? Because that single question could be the beginning of your freedom. That single question could be the spark that rewrites your entire story, and the truth is waiting for you to ask. You change your beliefs by changing the language you speak to yourself. Think about it. Every word you whisper inside your mind is a seed. That seed grows into an emotion. That emotion hardens into a belief. And that belief drives every action you take. So ask yourself, what kind of words are you planting in your own mind every single day? Are they words of limitation? Or are they words of possibility? Because the truth is this: language is not neutral. Language carries power. Say, I am a failure, and your body collapses. Your energy sinks. Your rays locks onto evidence that proves it. But change one phrase, say, I am learning how to succeed, and suddenly the frequency shifts. The body opens. The mind expands. The mirror of reality begins to bend in your favor. This is not wishful thinking. Science proves it. Dr. Andrew Newberg, a neuroscientist, studied the impact of positive language on the brain. His research showed that words of hope and compassion literally change neural structures. They rewire pathways. They strengthen regions of the brain connected to resilience and problem solving. In other words, your self-talk is not just a sound. It is architecture. It is construction. It is the builder of your reality. And yet, most people never pay attention to it. They speak to themselves in ways they would never dare to speak to a friend. They repeat harsh phrases until those phrases become identity. Until one day, they no longer question them. But you can choose differently. You can become the author of your own script. Take John as an example. Once a promising basketball player, his career collapsed after a brutal injury. For months, his inner voice repeated the same sentence, "My career is over." And each time he said it, his body felt heavier. His mind closed. His world shrank. Then he was introduced to the tools of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And he tried something simple. He changed the sentence. Instead of "my career is over," he began saying, "I am opening a new chapter." That one shift changed his emotional frequency. His auras began filtering for new opportunities. He started noticing connections in the world of sports media. Today, he is a celebrated commentator, living a reality that would have been invisible if he had not first changed his language. So I ask you, what story are you telling yourself today? And is it the story you want to live tomorrow? Do not underestimate the urgency of this question, because every phrase you repeat is writing your future. Every word is programming your RAS. Every sentence is adjusting your emotional frequency. Your words become your mirror. Your words become your cage or your wings. So pause for a moment. Listen closely. What have you been saying to yourself all these years? And is it the language of your best self? Here is the hypnotic truth. You cannot hold on to words of defeat and expect a life of victory. You cannot whisper, "I am not enough," and expect to see opportunities waiting for you. The mirror only reflects what you project into it. So here is your challenge. The next time you speak to yourself, stop. Ask this question: what frequency do I want this sentence to create? Because you are the one holding the pen, and your inner language is the ink. This is the moment to rewrite. To take the phrase, "I am stuck," and transform it into, "I am finding my way." 2. Turn "I always fail" into "I am learning to rise." 2. Reshape "I am lost" into "I am discovering new paths." Each shift rewires the brain. Each shift builds a new identity. Each shift brings the mirror closer to the reality you desire. It may feel small, but so did John's first phrase. One change, one decision, and that single shift built an entirely new life. So imagine what would happen if you changed not just one sentence, but all of them. Imagine if your inner voice became your greatest coach instead of your harshest critic. Imagine the beliefs that would grow. Imagine the frequency you would broadcast. Imagine the world that would reflect back to you. This is the power of language. This is the pen in your hand. So I leave you with this. Whisper to yourself right now, I am choosing words that create the frequency of my best self. Feel the resonance of that sentence. Feel how your body responds. Because in that moment, your brain is already shifting. And once you shift your words, your beliefs will follow. Your emotions will rise. Your actions will align. And the mirror of your reality will change. So again, the question is simple but profound. What words will you choose to speak to yourself today? And are they worthy of the life you want to create? Because the truth is clear. You change your beliefs by changing the language you speak to yourself. And that is how you rewrite your future. You maintain it through daily practice, like reframing journaling. Let me ask you, how do you make a new way of thinking stick? How do you turn a fragile insight into a natural way of living? The answer is simple but powerful. You practice it. You repeat it. You engrave it into your mind until it becomes who you are. This is where the tool of reframing journaling comes in. A method so simple you might underestimate it, yet so powerful it can rewire the voice inside your head in just a few weeks. Here is how it works. Every night, before you go to bed, write down 3 negative thoughts that crossed your mind during the day. Do not judge them. Do not hide them. Just capture them. Then, one by one, rewrite them. Reframe them. Turn each limiting phrase into a statement of growth, possibility, or empowerment. For example, instead of I always mess up, you write I am learning to handle challenges better each time. Instead of no one notices me, you write I am beginning to attract recognition for my value. Instead of I might lose my job, you write I am growing more capable and creating opportunities around me. At first, it may feel mechanical, forced, but here is the secret. Your brain does not care if it feels forced. It records the words. It stores the new pattern. And with repetition, that pattern becomes the dominant voice. Science shows it. After 21 days of consistent repetition, neural pathways strengthen. Old habits weaken. The inner dialogue shifts. And suddenly, the thoughts that once felt fake begin to feel natural. Let me show you through a story. Emily, an IT employee in the United States, lived under constant fear of losing her job. Every day, her mind whispered the same sentence. I am replaceable. That belief drained her energy. It silenced her creativity. It made her cautious, small, and afraid. But then she tried reframing journaling. For 3 weeks, every night, she wrote her fears on paper. And she rewrote them. She began turning, I might lose my job, into, I am building new skills that make me more valuable. She turned, I am invisible, into, I am learning to take initiative. Slowly, her emotional frequency shifted. She started speaking up in meetings. She proposed new projects. And instead of being overlooked, she was promoted. Think about that. Just 3 weeks. Same company. Same environment. But a different inner voice. And that voice created a different life. So here is the question. What is the voice inside your head repeating right now? And is it the voice you want to carry into your future? Because this is the truth. You cannot silence the inner dialogue. But you can rewrite it. You can teach it new lines. You can choose to stop feeding it fear and start feeding it empowerment. And the journaling practice is your training ground. Night after night, 3 reframed thoughts. That is all. And the compound effect is enormous. Do not dismiss the simplicity, because the most powerful tools are often the simplest. What matters is consistency. What matters is that you show up every night, because each page you write is another line of code rewritten in your subconscious. So imagine, 21 days from now, your inner voice could sound completely different. The same challenges will come, but you will meet them with new words, new beliefs, new energy. That is the power of reframing. JOURNAL. I'm G. Asterisk, and here is the hypnotic invitation. Tonight, before you sleep, take out a piece of paper. Write down 3 negative sentences from your day. Then rewrite them into new possibilities. Feel the shift as you write, because in that moment, you are not just writing sentences. You are rewriting your future. Do you feel the urgency now? Because every day you repeat the old script, the deeper it carves into your reality. But every day you rewrite it, the faster you build a new reality. The mirror cannot resist. It must reflect what you feed into it. So I ask you again, which voice will you feed tonight? The old one that limits you, or the new one that sets you free? Emily made her choice, and her life transformed. What about you? This is not about perfection. It is about practice. You do not have to write the perfect reframe. You only have to show up, to write, to shift, and to let repetition do its work. So here is the closing challenge. Tonight, when the world is quiet, when your mind is ready to drift into dreams, pause. Take your pen. Write 3 sentences. Then rewrite them into frequencies of growth, confidence, and possibility. Asterisk, and then watch. Watch how, little by little, the inner voice transforms. Watch how opportunities appear. Watch how your life mirrors the new story you're telling yourself, because you maintain it not through chance, but through practice. And practice builds power. So whisper this to yourself right now. Tonight, I will rewrite my story. And tomorrow, the mirror will reflect it back. Asterisk, you turn awareness into life when you embody that frequency every single day. But what does that truly mean? It means you cannot just think differently. You must live differently. You must let your body, your voice, your choices, your very presence broadcast the frequency of your upgraded self. Ask yourself, are you only carrying new thoughts in your mind? Or are you walking, speaking, and acting as if those thoughts are already real? Because here's the truth. Thoughts are powerful. Beliefs are powerful. But embodiment is where transformation becomes visible. When you embody a frequency, you stop waiting for change, and you become the change. Science has revealed this power. Amy Cuddy, a Harvard researcher, demonstrated that posture alone can shift emotions and even hormones. Stand tall, open your chest, lift your head, and within minutes, cortisol, the stress hormone, drops. Testosterone, the hormone of confidence, rises. Your body is not just reflecting your state, it is creating it. So imagine, if a simple change in posture can shift your chemistry, what could a full embodiment of your upgraded self create? This is not theory. It is reality. Let me tell you about David, a software engineer who longed to feel more confident. He read books. He repeated affirmations. But nothing truly changed until he embodied the frequency. He made one decision: to stand straight and look people in the eye. At first, it felt unnatural, but he persisted. Day after day, he carried himself like the confident version of who he wanted to be. After 2 months, everything changed. Colleagues began to notice him. He was invited to lead projects. He felt respected, seen, and trusted. Same man, same job, but a new embodiment. So I ask you, how would your life look if you began living as the version of you that already had what you desire? How would you stand? How would you speak? What choices would you make? Because this is the secret. Embodiment pulls the future into the present. It tells your rise, your emotions, your beliefs, and even your body, this is who I am now. And when you hold that frequency, reality cannot help but rearrange itself to match. Now pause. Imagine the version of you who is already successful, already confident, already living with freedom. Picture their body language, their tone, their daily habits. And then ask yourself, what is stopping me from stepping into that right now? Here is the hypnotic invitation. Stand up right now. Feel your feet on the ground. Lift your spine. Roll your shoulders back. Breathe deep into your chest. Choose the posture of the person you are becoming, because your body is the antenna of your frequency. And when your body aligns with your vision, the signal you broadcast becomes unstoppable. This is how you turn knowledge into life. Not by waiting, not by hoping, but by living the frequency today. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. Your old self will resist. It will whisper that it is fake. But remember this truth. Nothing is fake if you repeat it until it becomes natural. Every habit was once uncomfortable. Every new identity begins with awkward steps. Embodiment is the practice of walking into the version of yourself until the ground beneath your feet belongs to you. So again, ask yourself, are you only thinking about change? Or are you living it? David chose embodiment, and his reality changed. Emily rewrote her thoughts, and her career shifted. Lisa broke free from an old belief, and she found her purpose. Each one of them stepped into a new frequency, not just in thought, but in action, in body, in presence. And now, it is your turn. So here is the closing challenge. Do not just imagine your upgraded self. Embody them. Choose their words. Choose their posture. Choose their habits. Choose their frequency every day. Because that is how you pull the future into the present. Whisper to yourself right now, I am embodying the frequency of who I am becoming. Stand in it. Feel it. Live it. Because you turn awareness into life when you embody that frequency every single day. You keep your frequency by creating a pause before you react. But how often do you react without thinking? How many times have you spoken words you later regretted, acted in ways that did not serve you, or repeated the very patterns you swore to break? This is the trap. The old frequency pulls you back through automatic reactions. But there is a secret weapon, a tool so small it almost feels too simple. Yet it has the power to change your future. 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds of pause when you feel the trigger. When anger rises. When fear tightens your chest. When stress pushes you to lash out. Stop. Breathe. Count 3 seconds before you act. Why does this work? Because those 3 seconds cut the chain of the old program. They break the automatic loop. They give your brain the space to choose instead of react. Viktor Frankl, survivor and psychiatrist, revealed this truth in one timeless sentence. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The pause is the space. The pause is the freedom. The pause is the place where you hold on to your frequency instead of losing it. Think about that. 3 seconds can decide whether you spiral back into the old self or step forward into the upgraded self you are becoming. Let me show you with a story. Karen, a single mother in the United States, carried exhaustion every day. Work, bills, responsibilities. And when her little boy acted out, her old pattern was to shout, to unleash her stress in harsh words. It created distance, tension, guilt. She hated the cycle, but it felt impossible to stop. Then she tried the pause. The first time anger rose, She forced herself to breathe. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3. Instead of shouting, she asked, "What do you need right now?" That single pause changed everything. Her son's eyes softened. He opened up. The warmth returned. And their relationship slowly transformed. Dot, do you see it? Nothing outside changed. Not the job, not the bills, not the stress. But in those 3 seconds, Karen chose a new response. She kept her frequency, and her world shifted. Dot, so let me ask you, how many moments in your life would have been different if you had taken just 3 seconds to pause? How many arguments avoided? How many regrets erased? How many opportunities saved? The pause is small, but its impact is infinite. Because the pause is where power lives. Dot, and here is the hypnotic invitation. The next time your trigger is pulled, do not react. Breathe. 1, 2, 3. And act from the frequency you want to embody. Feel how radical this is. You are no longer controlled by the world outside you. You are no longer a slave to old habits. You become the master of your frequency. You hold the mirror steady. Dot, it may sound simple, but do not mistake simple for weak. Simple is what works. And when you repeat the pause, it becomes a habit. A habit that rewires your nervous system. A habit that transforms your relationships. A habit that keeps you aligned with your highest self. And yes, it will feel hard at first. Your old self will push. Your emotions will scream for release. But remember this truth. You are stronger than the impulse. You are not the reaction. You are the CHOOSER. Dot. So imagine. In your next conflict, instead of shouting, you pause. In your next setback, instead of panicking, you pause. In your next challenge, instead of collapsing, you pause. And in that pause, you hold the frequency of calm, clarity, and strength. What kind of world would open up for you? Karen discovered it. She built warmth where there used to be tension. And you can discover it too. Dot. So here is the challenge. Do not wait for tomorrow. Practice tonight. When something triggers you, breathe. 3 seconds. Let the space expand. Then choose your response. Because in those 3 seconds, your future is rewritten. This is not about perfection. You will slip. You will forget. But even one pause can change everything. Even one pause can save a moment, protect your frequency, and create a new reflection in the mirror of your life. Dot. So whisper this command to yourself right now. In my next reaction, I will pause for 3 seconds. And when you do, you will feel the magic. Because you keep your frequency by creating a pause before you react. When you change the lens through which you see life, the world reflects back differently right away. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what lens are you wearing right now? Is it a lens of fear? A lens of doubt? A lens of possibility? Because the truth is, the world does not come to you as it is. The world comes to you as you are. Reality is not fixed. Reality is filtered. Reality is a mirror that reflects your attention and your vibration. And once you understand this, you realize the key is not out there. The key is inside you. Dot. Science has shown this in measurable ways. A Princeton study revealed that optimists live longer and earn 30% more income compared to pessimists. Same economy, same world, but different lens. And because of that, a completely different reality. Dot. So what lens are you choosing today? Let me tell you a story. Michael, an Uber driver in Los Angeles, once saw his work as a grind. Endless hours, difficult passengers, low pay. His lens was scarcity. His lens was frustration. And the world reflected it back. Until one day, he made a simple choice. He decided to see every passenger as an opportunity for connection. He shifted his lens from frustration to curiosity. 1 month later, after a conversation with a passenger, he was invited to become the private driver for a Hollywood director. The same streets, the same car, the same man, but a new lens. And that new lens changed his entire trajectory. Do you see it now? The power is not in the world. The power is in the lens. So let me ask you, what opportunities are already around you, invisible only because your current lens cannot see them? What possibilities are waiting in plain sight, hidden behind the filter of your beliefs? Here's the hypnotic truth. You do not need to change the entire world. You do not need to wait for perfect timing. You only need to change the angle, change the lens, shift the focus, and the world will look new. Now pause. Imagine holding a camera. Imagine twisting the lens until the blur becomes clear. That is what happens when you shift your perspective. The world does not change, but your experience of it transforms. So here is your invitation. The next time life feels heavy, ask yourself, what lens am I wearing right now? And what lens would my best self choose? This is not about denial. It is not about pretending challenges do not exist. It is about choosing the frequency through which you meet them. Because when you shift your lens, you shift your energy. And when you shift your energy, the mirror of life responds. Michael did not change Los Angeles. He changed the way he looked at it. And the city changed for him. You do not need to wait for your world to rearrange itself. You need to rearrange the way you look at it. So let me make this urgent. Every day you wake up, you are given a choice of lens. And that choice decides whether you see limits or opportunities, whether you see enemies or allies, whether you see dead ends or doorways. Which lens will you choose tomorrow morning? Because here is the danger. If you do not consciously choose, your old patterns will choose for you. The same beliefs, the same fears, the same filters. And your world will stay the same. But if you dare to choose differently, even once, the reflection changes immediately. So tonight, whisper this to yourself. I choose the lens of possibility. Say it until you feel it. Say it until your body believes it. And then watch how the world begins to shift. Because reality bends to the focus of your attention. Reality is loyal to the vibration you carry. And now you know the truth. When you change the lens, you change the reflection. When you change the reflection, you change your life. Michael discovered it in his car. Optimists prove it in the data. And you can prove it in your own life, starting right now. So here is the closing challenge. Tomorrow, before the day begins, ask yourself, what lens will I wear today? And then live from it. Speak from it. Walk from it. Because the lens you choose will decide the world you see. You do not need to move mountains. You do not need to force the world. You only need to adjust the lens. Whisper this to yourself now. I change my lens, and the world reflects my choice. And when you believe it, when you embody it, when you live it, the reflection cannot help but shift. Because when you change the lens through which you see life, the world reflects back differently, right away. You sustain it when you turn it into a promise to yourself never to return to the old lens again. So let me ask you, how powerful would your life become if you made a vow? A vow that no matter what happens, no matter how heavy life feels, you will never again shrink back into the small lens of fear and doubt, because this is where everything becomes real. Not in theory, not in words, but in a promise. A promise between you and yourself. The promise is simple. Define 3 core values. Live them fully every single day. And when you slip, when you forget, when the old self tries to pull you back, you return to the tools you have learned. You return to the pause. You return to the reframing journal. You return to embodiment. You realign. You recommit. You keep the vow alive. Rebecca, a teacher in Boston, shows us what this looks like in practice. Every morning, before she walked into her classroom, she read aloud a single promise. Today, I choose to look through the clearest lens. Day after day, she repeated it. 1 year later, her students and colleagues all said the same thing. She seemed to shine. Not because the school changed, not because the system changed, but because she had changed. Her lens was clear, and her promise kept her frequency alive. Do you see how powerful this is? A single vow can hold you steady when life tries to knock you down. A single vow can keep your upgraded lens from slipping away. So I ask you directly, what is the promise you are willing to make to yourself today? And will you honor it not just for a moment, but for the rest of your life? Because this is the final step. Without a promise, your change is fragile. With a promise, your change becomes permanent. Now pause. Imagine standing before a mirror. Imagine looking yourself in the eye. Imagine declaring, I will never go back to the old lens. I choose clarity. I choose truth. I choose to live in the frequency of my best self. Feel the power of that vow echo through your body. This is how you anchor everything you have learned. This is how you ensure the mirror keeps reflecting the new reality. And here is the hypnotic truth. If you decide today, the world can never be the same again. If you choose the vow, the old lens loses its power forever. So whisper it now. Whisper it so your mind hears. Whisper it so your body believes. Whisper it so your soul commits. I promise to hold the new lens, no matter what, because the moment you make that promise, the world bends. Your frequency steadies. Your reflection locks into place. And here is my invitation to you. If today's message has moved you, let your voice be heard. Comment below and share the promise you are ready to make. Because when you speak it, you strengthen it. If you felt the shift, if you felt the truth, then like this video so more people can see it. Share it with someone you care about, because they too may need to hear these words. And subscribe, because this is not the end. This is only the beginning of a journey we walk together. Remember this. Out of millions of videos you could have chosen, you are here. That is no accident. That is your ass pulling you. That is your frequency guiding you. That is your soul choosing clarity. So here is the final promise. If today you choose a new lens, your world will never look the same again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing this path. And thank you for choosing yourself, because you sustain it when you turn it into a promise to yourself, never to return to the old lens again.